Welcome to this trial installation presentation of Sequeneas version 2 Network Event Manager software. The installation must take place on a dedicated Ubuntu Linux operating system, version 13.04 or greater. You must first of all be connected to the internet so you can download the necessary files to do the installation. We will now go to the FSM software website, which is located at fsm-software-ba.com, and then click on the left hand side button, download, and we will go to the 30-day free trial download link. I'm going to click here on the installation guide, and as we can see, we must request the trial license by email first before we continue on. So what you need to do is send a mail to trial@fsm-software-ba.com and just insert into the subject line trial license request, and it will be sent back to you. Then as we follow this down, we can see here there's a couple of things you have to do. We make sure that your clients are listed in the host file correctly, and make sure they're all pingable from the manager host, which is the host that you should be on, and then ensure all SNMP services on the manager hosts are stopped and disabled before continuing with this installation. That's because the installation will install NetSNMP. So I'm going to download the install software. So that's already downloaded. And then I need to open up a window, go to my download directory, and then just put in these commands. So my download directory is my home directory downloads. If I do an ls here, I can see that this file has been downloaded. So next I need to make sure that I'm sudo su'd up to root, and then, which I am, and then I need to make sure that the file is executable. So I do this, cut and paste that in, and we can now see that the file is executable and ready to go. Next thing I do is just execute the file, as we can see here, and that will begin the install, and you just follow the install through, and that'll be it. So we'll fire off the install, and as you can see, it says straight away you will have to be connected to the internet at this stage. Your host will be updated for the Sequeneas installation. So an update's going to take place. So do we want to continue? We certainly do. And away we go. This is going to download a couple of files. First of all, it's going to download the trial manager install document, which we've just been reading. So that will be put into your download directory, as well as the file that you've just executed. So if you want to, you can open that up and follow that through as you're going, but there's no real need until the install finishes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get out of the web browser so we can follow this installation through. Now this may take a few minutes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause now and wait till that's finished. Okay, the download finished, and then what happened was this window ends up in this state as it is now. So you've missed nothing so far. It downloaded the software, and now we're at the next stage, and it tells you a copy of the installation guide can be found in your download directory, etc. And it just asks you basically here, follow this through and read it, and then do you want to continue? And yes, we do, so we just click yes. Now what's happening here is, in the next section, Sequeneas install setup, you're going to be asked some questions, and just carriage return each question it asks. So you'll see that in a minute. So we'll click into this window and we just wait for the questions to be asked. And here we go, this is the first one. Press carriage return to continue, and we do. So we carriage return again and again and again and again. Now what this is going to do, this is now going to start installing the software and start installing Net SNMP for you. This will take a little while, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause, and once again when this finishes this window will disappear, and then we're back in this window and it will tell you how to continue. So see you very soon. Welcome back. the install of the Net SNMP and the update is now finished. The window closed and left you with the primary window again. Now at this stage it's asking you if you want to disconnect off the internet. Some of you may well want to disconnect off the internet because you want to keep your network local, so you're just keeping within the LAN. So if that's the case, then quickly disconnect and connect to the LAN and make sure your interface is up. Now to check this you can simply do an ifconfig -a, and our primary interface is Ethernet 0, and we've got an IP address of this. So I'll continue now, and it says, do you want to proceed? Yes we do. And again it's saying please make note of the host network settings, your primary interface, IP address and MAC address, which we will do. It also gives you a ifconfig -a output, so that you've got it here ready for the next window, so you can install the items in there. So here we go, we're going to proceed now, and the next window's opened up. Now what it's going to do, it's going to install now the Sequeneas product, and so we'll continue on here. So this product's got to be installed on the dedicated server, which it is. Do you wish to proceed? We certainly do. And this just gives you some output about the server. Okay, are you ready with the information? Yes we are. So we continue on here, and now it's giving you the license. So you read the license, and then you can either agree to the license or not. And yes, we're going to agree to the license. And now it's asking you to put in your system's host name. Now then, our system's host name is Tiger, so we're going to put Tiger in here, hit carriage return, and it's asking for your system's IP address. So the IP address we find is here from the ifconfig -a, and then it's asking for the MAC address, and the MAC address is here, the hardware address. So we put that in, and it's going to ask us, it's going to put us into opt seq-wap, and yes we want it to be put in there because that's the default directory, and away we go, it's installing. Once this is finished we'll be back into the primary window again. Right, Sequeneas has now been installed. Hit carriage return, and then there's some information you can read. And there we go. So now what it's going to do now is it's going to open up a browser, and you'll be able to enter information into the Sequeneas admin path. So we're going to do that now. So now we're going to log in as SEQ admin, and the password is change me. lowercase. This is the default password for SEQ admin. It's also the default password for Discover. That's the Discover user. You obviously need to change them later on, as you don't want anyone else getting in and making adjustments or configurations to your systems. So we're going to log in here. Okay, the first thing it's going to ask us is to enter some users, but we're just going to enter one for the present time. You can also just enter one, and I'm going to enter one user. Give it a simple password and add the user, and as we can see here, we've just added a user. Okay, the next thing you can do is add a mail user. We haven't got any here. We can add a mail user here, so you might want to put in a mail user, and as you can see, it's got to be of the standard of user at xyz.com or whatever it is. So you do that next. Then you need to enter the license code into the license text box here. This is the code that was sent to you by the troll admin at FSM Software. So you just enter it in there and then you set the license. Now I've set my license, but I'm not going to do a view because you'll there's no need because my license is in there, so I'm happy. The next thing we need to do is go to SNMP system base configuration, and here we just enter in our read-only community password. Okay, now I'm going to put in public, and this is something you must never do. You will obviously have your own community password, and that will be the password that is on all of your clients as well, your SNMP clients. So that must tie up so it can communicate with your clients and gather the information necessary. Sequeneas is a pull type system, so it just pulls the information from the clients and does all it needs to do on the manager. There's no setting of any information with Sequeneas. It does it all on the manager, so it's a very, very safe system. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add that information, and here if we view it, we can see here our settings. Okay, so that's done. Once this is done, you now need to log out of the browser, and you need to log out using the user logout. This is very important, because if you don't, if you just X out of it or close the browser, lock files will be kept in place. This is not just a browser type application, it's a proper application and is very self-contained. So you do need to log out. Any time you log into Sequeneas, you must log out. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to now log out, and then what we need to do for the next stage, we actually need to close the browser. And we go back to our primary window, and then Sequeneas will start up. So I'll tell you to wait. And now Sequeneas is up and running. If you wait about 60 seconds, you will then be able to start using Sequeneas, and you can start using Sequeneas by using this address. Obviously the manager name will be the name of your software manager. So I'm going to open up my browser now, and I'm going to go to the address as it says here. And as we can see, as I've already put in my address, it's tiger/seq-wap/seq-monitor.html, and that's my login screen. So what we can do is we can log in as Steve if we wish, or we can log in as SEQ admin, or we can log in as Discover. So we can do what we want. What I'm going to do initially here is this goes beyond the sort of troll presentation, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a Discover. So what we're going to do is go into the Discover screen. Again, password is change me. So we'll log in, and what we're going to do is we're going to put a network switch in. So you click on the Network Discovery Administration. Now there's two ways we can do this. When you want to put in multiple network switches, managed network switches, you put in the start address and then the end bytes. So for instance, if you wanted to have a range from 200.150.100.3 to .100, you would put in here, you would put 200.100.1, sorry, 200.150.100.2, and in here you would put 100, and that would then go out and discover all of the network switches from 2 to 100. But what we're going to do is we're only going to put in one single switch, so what we're going to do is put it in here, 200.150.100.166, and all you do is click discover, and then it will go off, configure and discover that particular switch. Now you'll notice that there's a status bar here. Always follow the status bar and wait for it to complete before you continue on. Okay, now we can view the node, and there we go. We've got an 8-port Cisco switch installed. If I wanted to install Linux boxes, I can view my Linux box here because this is the primary manager, and we can see it here, Tiger. We can put in multiples, or we can put in singles at a time. Again, also in here we can put in Apple and Microsoft boxes here, so you just change this to the particular type of box you want to put in. Same again here if you want to look at what boxes you've got in, whether they're Microsoft or Apple, and just click view information. Obviously we've got none in there, so it's showing none. We'll go back to Linux there. For Unix boxes, again, same scenario, you just follow the add multiple or add single. Same for network, and same for application, MySQL applications. What we can also do is at the top here we can see service level reporting. I'm going to have a quick word about that. If I have a look at the users list view, at the moment we've got priority time to fix for 2 hours, priority 2 for 4 hours, and priority 3 for 6 hours. This is the time you've got for when for instance, when a priority 1 call comes in and it's monitored by Sequeneas, you have 2 hours to fix it before it is reported in the system, the service level reporting arena. So that's be well aware of the system, for the system admin guys here. If I wanted to change this, I wanted to make this 1 hour for my priority 1s. I wanted to make this 2 hours for my priority 2, and my priority 3s I want 3 hours. All I do is submit that data, and there you go, we've changed it. As simple as that. These are the service levels. We've got it up here for 99.8% of the time it expects your systems to be running, and we've got an agreed response time of 2 seconds for all of your equipment, which is quite high really. So let's just take this down to 1 second, which is still quite high, but if we submit the data just to show you, now it's down to 1 second. Okay, it's as simple as that. Again, we finished in here. We must log out. This I cannot stress enough. You must log out of this screen. Also, by the way, when you are logged in as Discover or as SEQ admin, the system will be in the state of flux. It will just sit there. People will not really be able to use the system because of configurations going on. So you want to plan what you're going to do and log into SEQ admin or Discover, do your work and get out as soon as you can. Okay, and now we're out again. Okay, we're going to go into SEQ admin, and as we can see here, okay, if we go along, there's user defined settings here you can set up, but there's also default defined settings. So when you do a Discover, these are the settings that it will automatically set up for you, so you don't have to worry too much about them. So if we look at the Linux box, Tiger, and we can view, see what it's set up for system, the load settings for Tiger, for instance, we can see what it's set up for. It's got an alarm for the 1 minute load of 10, 15. These are quite high, but you can easily change them here. That's not a problem. So for instance, I'm going to change one here, and it will show you how easy this panel is to use. So here's the 1 minute load. Let's just say I wanted to change the 1 minute load down to say 3. I highlight it, put in 3, but I don't want to change any of the rest of it, so just leave as null. My alarm though I want to come on, so it'll mail me. Okay, I've also got to go into the memory here, that's off. I want that to mail me as well on, so I leave that on, but the rest of it I'm going to leave it stay as it is. And then I just come down to the bottom here, Linux, go to the particular one, Tiger, and that'll update the information. Then we can see it being updated. There's the 3 being updated. So anything you don't want to change, just leave as null. It's very, very simple. Now, if you're going through and you're going to make a change, for instance, and you say, okay, 5. Ooh, I've made a mistake. If you make a mistake and you think, oh, how do I clear this screen? It's simple. All you have to do, leave the select node as select node. If you do an update, it will just clear the screen and put it back to as it was. And you'll get in here, see this, please enter all fields. It's looked at it and said, right, you haven't been right in what you've done. So I'm clearing it again. Try again. So that's quite straightforward. This works for all the forms. Okay. So if you think you've made a mistake, just leave the select. Don't select any node and just click on the button, whatever button it is, and it will clear the screen again. You can start again. Okay, it's as simple as that. We can look here again at the system and device interface. So all your interfaces are listed here and the setups for it. Let's have a look at the Unix again, the Tiger. We can see it's got the Ethernet 0, WAN 0 is set up. It tells you the priority level it's set up if it goes down, the refresh rates, etc., whether email's on or off. And you can set up events as well, which you'll have to look into later. They're quite straightforward, so you can fire off programs to fix things if something goes wrong. Even you can set up as you want. It's very, very open for you to do what you want with that. So that's if we look at, we can come down here, we can say go to network group, and we can look at the network switch we just put in, and there's all of the network devices on the switch, and it's the same again. So if I wanted to update a particular interface, monitor name, I can cut and paste out of here, put it into here, and then I can change whatever I want to here and then just update it, and it's as simple as that. Okay, that's enough on the configuration manager for the moment. For the default managers, let me quickly show you the user managers. Now we've got a Linux box in here and we're not monitoring any file system, so what we're going to do is very quickly, you can see how quick this is going to be. I'm going to put in slash, let's monitor root, 95% level, mail me if there's a problem. I'm not going to put any event on at the moment. We'll also say if there's a slash run, a var, let's say var, again 95% on, file system, see if there's a run file system for instance, again we'll put it on. Now what you can do here is we can click on Linux and we can click on the Tiger, or if you've got a lot of Linux boxes, what you can do is you can say all in group, and this will set these file systems up for all of the hosts in that group. Now if the file system exists, it will set it up. If it doesn't, it will just ignore it. So if we now do a add information, that has gone and put it on for all in the group. We've only got one in the group, so it's just going to do it for the system Tiger. If we view it here, there you go. So slash was there, slash run was there, so it put that in, and there was no slash var, so it ignored it. There was no slash var because slash var is under the root file system on this machine. If I wanted to get rid of any of these, it's simple. For instance, if let's say I want to get rid of slash run, all I do is, you can put it in any of these boxes here, by the way. This is just this box duplicated 4 times. Okay, so if I put in slash run, I've got to put in anything else. Client Tiger, and that's just remove, and that's it gone. and it's as simple as that. Processes are the same. If you wanted to monitor a process, for instance, let's say you wanted to monitor the up power daemon. I want it to mail me if there is a problem, and I'm going to set this to a priority of 3. Now if this daemon goes over 346 kilobytes, also let me know about it, alert me. Okay, again, we're not going to put any event in here because we've no event set up at the present time, so then all we have to do is Linux, click on here. We can either pick the particular host or we can say all in group. I'm going to say all in group because there's only got one here anyway, so I'll click on that. And now we look and we can see it's set up. Okay, so it's as simple as that to do this sort of configuration. I won't go into the extended custom configuration menu here, but as you can see, this is a very powerful form which you can use and just about get anything you want to, really. So I'm going to log out now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a login of the normal user. Right, we're now going to log in as the user Steve, which we set up earlier. Now this is the main panel which you're going to be using most of the time. This will give you all the information you want. It will let you know about your reports, your problems, etc, etc. So we're now on the status tab and we can see that we've got one Linux host monitored at the moment. The looping of the configuration may take a little while with a few items, some of the subsystems, but it will all show up here. Let's have a look at host selection. As you can see, we've gone into the host selection there, and we can see our tigers up, gives us the IP address and the response time straight away. And we can see that the group, this is going to show us the group response over the group of an average of all of the hosts in a particular group, and this is going to tell us how many hosts are up. Okay, I don't want to go into too much detail here because this is only meant to be an installation presentation. So actually I think I'll stop here and then let you install and find out for yourself how powerful this Sequeneas is. So I'll leave you with that. I'm going to log out now and say goodbye, and thank you very much for watching. I hope it's been very helpful. Enjoy.